All right, bro. Look like LeBron about to retire in a couple years. KD about to retire in a couple years. Steph about to retire in a couple years. Giannis is approaching 30. It's a couple. Joel Embiid is approaching 30, and it's like the question is need to be asked: who is going to be the face of the league? Now, I saw this video. Well, I didn't really watch it. I saw it on my homepage. Right, this is a YouTube named Martin Jam. I was planning on going to watch the video, but I haven't watched it yet. I just want to make this video first before I watch it. See what's the differences in between the video. But yeah, he basically talked about what the future, the next 5 years is going to look like. I am basically just trying to like give the case of each player I'm about to give you today of why they can make a compelling case to be the face of the league as of right now. So the players I'm about to mention are in the league right now. Now it's hard to project prospects coming into the league because not everybody going to be coming in right away and dominating. Some folks might take 2 or 3 years to try to get together. Like in LeBron's case, he got like steaming and rolling, right? Michael Jordan, the same way. Even though he had that broken foot in his second year, and you saw in the playoffs when they did make it, he started to dominate and he just took off from there. Like so, it's like you have to start out the gate. Magic and Bird, they started out their career out and running. You could say who's the space at 70? You could say a couple, but the main person they say was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. His career started out hot and running. So to be the face of the league, your career automatically has to get out to a hot start. So you cannot be a slow starter like Steph Curry and you have to work your way up. You have to start right away. Or Giannis in that case, because Giannis came into the league pretty raw. He didn't refine his skills like that, even though he was a better shooter back then compared to now. But he started out his career slow, and now he's on the superstar. Well, he's already a superstar, but yeah, I'm going to give a couple names and I'm going to give the arguments for each name. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is Jason Tatum. So Jason Tatum, he been in this league for a while. It's so crazy. He got in the league in the 2017-2018 season. His first game was that Gordon Hayward injury, which was pretty crazy. So his career had to mature. His game had to mature quick. So Jason Tatum, he became that like the second, third option was always fluctuate, but he was like the second option on the team from the view of most people. Um, he then when Kyrie Irving got hurt, that's when he took the mantle of trying to be the best player on the team. And guess what? He was the best player on the team. He had battles going back and forth with pretty much Giannis. He had back and forth battles with LeBron. He had back. I'm trying to see who else. Yeah, he also was trying to go back and forth with Joel B as well. So yeah, he legit has a good argument. Then you go into the next season. Now, unfortunately, it was like very wishy washy. Now, Jason Tatum, he was like set as the second option. Like he was like first and center as the second option on the team. But the thing is, everybody else didn't know their role. Like Jaylen Brown, for example, he was a third option then. But Terry Rozier, Marcus Morris, Gordon Hayward, they probably thought they was the third option, which kind of overlapped pretty much everything. So that season was pretty much like a dud. And then Kyrie had his personal issues outside the court, so that was that. And they had their struggles against the Pacers, but they ended up beating the Pacers, but they ended up losing in embarrassing fashion to the Bucks. Then going to the next season, Kyrie goes to Brooklyn. Now Jason Tatum is the first option. Now he did kind of go out to a slow start this season, but that January, what I say like December to like March, that Jason Taylor was pretty spooky. That was a bad man. That you could tell he was coming into his own during that phase. Then he carried it on to the 1920 playoffs where he had battles with different teams. I think they played. Did they play the Sixers first round? I think they played the Sixers. They definitely played the Raptors. Jason Taylor, you could tell he was the first option during that time. Mind you, 17-18 they made the conference finals. 18-19 they got second round. But back to 19-20, they made the conference finals. Now, fortunately, they was a couple plays away from going to the finals that year, but they ended up not going to the finals. And then the next year, it was just pretty much like injury riddle for almost everybody. Then fortunately, down the stretch of the season, Jaylen Brown ends up getting hurt. So that season was a dud, even though they did make the playoffs. Jason Taylor, he had a couple. I think he had 50 bomb this playoff run, but they still ended up getting gentlemen swept. But the next year, this was their revenge year. Well, supposedly because in 21-22, they season looked like it was about to be like over quick, or it's about to be like a mid-season for them. But like I said, that December, January, February stretch, they went on a huge tear. Nobody could really stop them. Then we go into the playoffs. I forget who they played the first round, but that second round against the Bucks, they took care of the Bucks, right? And then they had to face their old rival again against the Boston Celtics. Now this is like pretty crazy. Now Jason Tatum, he around this time he was having all these up and down performances, but when they needed him the most, he stepped up, and that was the most important thing right there. Especially in that Game 7 in Miami. At that, yeah, he stepped up big time, and he prepared them to the finals. Now he did have a stinker in the finals, but LeBron James had a stinker in his first finals, so I cannot hold that too much against him. And especially since I think he had some weird shoulder problem. Then he had that wrist injury, and to this day I think he still needs surgery. So we'll see what happens with that. But 22-23. Now, this is the season they was actually favored to win the championship. No ifs or buts. They traded for Darren White, I believe, last year. They traded for Malcolm Brogdon this year. And they still have Marcus Smart. You still have Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Al Horford. You still have these core guys on this team. And they pretty much took care of business, which was everybody expected. Now, folks thought it would be like an adjustment period since another new coach is coming in, but it was the same new scheme and philosophy. So they just took off and running, and they'll get to the playoffs again. Once again, they get through the play. Well, this time around, it was pretty like, I ain't understand this. Because first off, I think they got taken to 6 by the Hawks. That should have been a 5-game series. I don't know why they got elongated, but it's weird. Then we go to the Sixers series. Bro, they almost lost that series. They was actually down 3-2 and had to win back-to-back games. And, dog, if they didn't win back-to-back games, folks were going to have some very, very many, I wouldn't say that. I would say a bunch of question marks about this team. That's all I think I gotta say. But they ended up with 2 games straight, and Jason Tatum, he dropped another 50 bomb in the playoffs, and this time I think this was the most points in a Game 7. Once again, he's stepping up in big moments. I also forgot to mention in 21-22 in Game 6 on the road versus the Bucks, he had dropped like 46 in that game, and that prepared them to a Game 7 in Boston. So yeah, Jason Tatum he have a good case to be in the face just based on these key moments in the playoffs, right? But then we go to this Heat series in 22-23. He started out bad at games 1 through 4. I think he had one good game between that stretch. Then 5, 6, and I won't say game 5, game 4. I say like game 5 and 6. That's when he took it up a notch. Now, unfortunately, he ended up twisting his ankle early in Game 7, so he was pretty much a non-factor, and they ended up losing. And then we go into this year. They've been a number 1 seed. They've been doing historic things. Number 1 offense, top 3 defense. And if Jason Tatum gets to another conference finals, I'm trying to see like why would folks try like denounce him as a face of the league candidate? Because if he gets over the hump this year, his case for the top 3 or 5 player in this league right now is definitely gonna be strong no matter what folks say, because he's an automatic conference finals trip appearance. You can say that's off the team, but guess what? If you take Jason Tatum off this team, this is not gonna be the same team, because the thing is, in a playoff series, right? The attention gonna be shifted towards Jason Tatum, but the thing is, everybody else is getting like one-on-one coverages. Now, Porzingis, on the other hand, they have to double team him. But like for example, Jaylen Brown, he's not seeing heavy coverages because they feel like they defenders can stop him one-on-one. Jason Tatum, on the other hand, you guys send the two, you guys send the three, you guys send three bodies at Jason Tatum to try to slow him down. But if you don't, he can get to the lanes and he do a step back three. This is like very different player of Jaylen Brown because both of them are kind of like right-handed drivers, but the thing is, Jason Tatum's like more like crafty with his driving compared to like a Jaylen Brown. And then Jason Tatum got more stuff in his bag compared to Jaylen Brown too. That's why he's able to beat these heavy blitzing schemes because he know how elongate pick and roll. But let me not run with too much on his game. I just gave you basically the case for Jason Tatum. He matured his game fast. He had to mature his game fast. So that means he got his game up and running. He's a playoff performer. He made it to multiple conference finals trips. And then listen, if he wins one this year, he would automatically be in the top 3 to 5 case for best player in the world right now. So yeah, and that's really all the arguments I can make for Jason Tatum as of this moment right now. It's just all up to him. Is he going to get it done this year? Because it is set up for him to win the championship this year. It is. Because now they got the big man, Kristaps Porzingis. Now, if they try to do this switching stuff, they can dump it down to Porzingis and let Porzingis go to work. That's the difference in their offense compared to the last few seasons. So, next person I'm finna make a case about is Luka Doncic. So, Luka Doncic, like I said, gotta have your career up and running. He did just that. I think he's one of the few rookies to average 25-5 in their rookie season. I think the only two people that did was LeBron and Tyreke Evans, I believe. So that was that. Then the second season, this is an elite season right here. Now, this is the season where he just, okay, it's your team, it's time to go to work now. Because, the season prior, he played with Dirk Nowitzki in his last season, right? So he kept being in shape. That's the thing. This is his best shape of his career up until maybe this point, right? Yeah, he just dominated. He made first team All NBA, and he's continued to make first team All NBA since his second season in the league, right? Folks, as of right now, he's considered a top 3 player in the game. Back then, I feel he's considered like top 5 to 10 player in the game. But that's just him starting out, though. That's the crazy part. That was him starting out. And this is the 1920 season. I believe he averaged, 25 to 26 plus a game. He was averaging close to 10 assists a game. He averaged, 7, 8 rebounds a game. So this guy was, for real in his second season in the league, right? Now, the thing about it is, I think, what seed was they? I think they was a 6th seed. I believe the Clippers were, top 3. I could be wrong in that. But, yeah, or they was 4 or 5. I think it was 3-6 this year, though. But, yeah, that's what I was saying. The unthinkable happened. Luka Doncic, he actually showed why his game is tailor-made for the playoffs. Because the Clippers, they have these wing defenders as Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Then, Marcus Morris at the time was considered like a body to throw on Luka. That wasn't a good idea either. You saw it got to a point where Marcus Morris resorted to fighting Luka because he couldn't stop him. So, and the thing is, and also in this series, Luka Doncic hit a clutch game winner in this series. And guess what? They got pushed to, I feel like this is the series they got pushed to 6. The Clippers did. But, the Mavericks ran out of gas. Kristaps Porzingis, I feel like he got hurt this series. So, yeah, it just wasn't their year. But we go into the next year, 2021. The Mavericks continue on their success. Kristaps Porzingis still battling through injuries, but guess what? Luka Doncic still being Luka Doncic, being very consistent with his play. He's improving what areas of his game. He's gonna still give you the 26 plus a game with close to 10 assists. That's a given. That's a given. I feel like it's around there, but yeah. Then we get to the playoffs once again. The Mavericks as a top 5 to 6 seed once again. Then we get to the playoffs, I could be wrong. The Mavericks could have been the 7th seed in 1920. But we're gonna talk about 2020, 2021. We're gonna go to the playoffs though, and dog, they faced the Clippers again. But this was a crazy series because the Clippers, they started out at home because they were the highest seed. The Mavericks won both of those games. Then we go into the Mavericks home court. I thought, okay, this is like Luka Doncic's time to go to the second round. Nope. It's unfortunate because the Mavericks choked away both of those games. I believe one of those games, Luka was dealing. Most of the series, Luka was dealing with some type of nerve issue in his neck or something. His neck and shoulder, I believe. It was like messing with his free throws and stuff. Yeah, it was just like a bad. It was just like a struggling series he had to get through. But they still. The crazy part about it is, guess what? We go back. The Mavericks, they ended up going back to LA. They win games. Then the LA Clippers, they come back to Dallas. They win games. So it comes down to Game 7, mind you. The opposing team has won the home court advantage. Mavericks beat them at LA. LA beat them in Dallas. So they've been going back and forth like that. So we go into the series. Now the Clippers played them tough the Mavericks played them tough all the way through. But the Mavericks didn't have it. Kristaps Porzingis, he was trash this series. He even admitted to quitting on the team. So it wasn't their year this year. So we're going to the next year. Now, midway through the season, they traded away Kristaps Porzingis. They got Davis Bertans, Spencer Dinwiddie, right? They just wanted to get off his contract just entirely. So now Luka's dealing with another cast. Now Jalen Brunson, he has been improving each season. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's been solid. They still got Maxi Kleber. They still got Dwight Powell. They still got Tim Hardaway Jr. They still have depth pieces to try to make a run. And guess what? This time around, I think they was the highest seed because were they the highest seed? Yeah, they actually was the highest seed this time around. And I think they was the 4th seed. I think the Utah Jazz was the 5th seed, something like that. So, going to the season, and Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson, he's trying to prove, he's trying to get that next contract, be suited for life. So Jalen Brunson, at points in times, he had to take over the reins of the point guard position. But Luka, he still gave you another All-NBA season. That's 3 straight All-NBA seasons in a row. And then, we go through the season. Like I said, they finished as the 4th seed. Utah was the 5th seed. Luka missed the first 2 games, but the rest of the series he played and he dominated. Nobody had answer. Utah Jazz, they tried to throw Royce O'Neal on Luka, barbecue chicken. Donovan Mitchell, licking my chops, right? Boy, y'all by Donovic, they was just throwing anybody on him. Then when Luka called for a screen or something, and Rudy Gobert tried to guard him. Now Rudy Gobert, he did have a couple key stops on Luka. I can't front, but at a point you cannot stop a great offensive player for too long. So, so they ended up finishing the Jazz at 6, and that caused the Jazz to blow it up. So that's another thing you can say you can contribute to Luka. Then they went. Who they play after this? I forgot who they play after this. But I know in the conference finals, they ended up meeting the Golden State Warriors. Now, I actually thought the Mavericks had a shot to beat the Warriors because the Warriors, they was a good team. Don't get me wrong, they was a good team. But I didn't feel like they was that championship-worthy team. Just the team they was beating was not healthy at all. So that's why that was my thought process, right? I thought the Mavericks actually had a puncher's chance at this. I think they got pushed to 5 or 6. I think the Warriors got pushed to 5 or 6, but they kept attacking Luka in the screen coverages because Luka wasn't a good defender. He wasn't even average yet because everybody was just attacking him off the first dribble. It was getting into the paint, which is problematic for a defense. But yeah, they just didn't have it, and they ended up losing the conference finals. So I'm going to this year now. 22-23. Now, this season, this season was pretty like crazy. Even though he still made another All NBA team. So 1920 made All NBA team, 2020, 2021 he made All NBA team, 21, 22. Mind you, these are all first teams. And 22, 23 is another All NBA season. Mind you, all of these are first team All NBA seasons. I feel like Jason Tatum had 3 of his own. So, yeah, we go in to this season, and the reports was like out of this world. Folks was talking about Luka weight, how he was coming in out of shape and stuff. But Luka and the crew, they still had high expectations for themselves. Now, unfortunately, they got out to a slow start because of Luka weight management. He couldn't hold himself together in late game situations, as in like stamina wise. They was losing a lot of games. So they decided to make a trade to try to boost up this roster, and they did by trading for Kyrie Irving. So they traded Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and like picks that really probably not going to even matter in the future, since Luka Doncic is going to still be there, so it's not going to matter. So they did that, and it was still like an injury-riddled season for them. It was at a point that Reggie Bullock had to play the 4, and it was just a dud season. It was straight up dud, because Kyrie, he had plantar fasciitis or something like that in his foot, so he really couldn't play like 2 games back to back, especially on an actual back-to-back situation. He definitely couldn't play that. Luka, he had like this quad. I feel like he had a quad injury, I believe. It was some type of lower leg injury. It was like the quad or the calf. I can't remember which one. He had to deal with that. He had to miss some time too. So they lost 2 like embarrassing games to the Hornets, which caused them to miss the play entirely, which was embarrassing. So what the Mavericks did, they decided to improve on the team a little bit, and we go into this season where we in right now, and Luka Doncic having another MVP-like season. In my opinion, he's top 3 in the running. He went for like 30 points. I think he was on the break or he had 30 points. I can't remember which one in the 22-23 season. But he's firmly at 33 points per game this season. He's definitely going to win the scoring championship since Joel Embiid got hurt. He's averaging close to 10 assists a game. And then, him and Kyrie Irving, as of late, they've been meshing pretty well. So, yeah, we're going to see what the season holds for them, because as of right now, they stand as the 8th seed. But with this Western Conference, everybody can go up and down in a heartbeat. But yeah, like I said, there's Luka Doncic's case. He made like 4 or 5 straight first-team All-NBAs. He made a Western Conference Finals trip. Mind you, this roster was like not ready to compete like that at all. And like I said, he's always in the running or close to being in the running for MVP. So that's Luka Doncic's case for being the face of the league. Now we're going to the next guy. Now this guy, I really probably going to not spend too much time on, since he only been in the league for 1 season, and that's Victor Wembanyama. So Victor Wembanyama, like all these guys have like charismatic personality. You can tell Wembanyama, you can tell he has a reliable personality. He even said in a recent interview that he didn't understand like the cursing and the censorship in the United States. So that should tell you how reliable Victor Wembanyama is going to be in his prime, because if he just letting loose like that and just talking freely of how he feel, that could get people on your side. Then the fact that this dude is 7'4", 7'5", doing step back threes, and listen, his motion is not even being affected on these threes, and he's switching these threes, especially in the clutch. Then you can tell he's going to be one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the league, probably starting next year. Like, this dude is for real. He already got triple-double in blocks. He already got 5x5 game. He almost had a quadruple-double game with assists, blocks, rebounds, and points. Like, this dude is like it's spooky the potential he can get, the potential he can reach. He could probably be the league leader in 5x5 games because the thing about Victor Wembanyama and what I saw in his first game, or matter of fact, not his first NBA game, his actual game, his first summer league game, he likes to pass the ball. Like he's willing to make the extra read. Now it's unfortunate that folks don't like to make the extra read to him or just like give him a dump off pass. Like he's 7'5", nobody's not gonna really jump with him at all, right? So I feel like starting next year, he's going to make the All NBA team. He's gonna be in the Luka and Jason Tatum pal of making first team All NBA just like that, just make it straight. He's definitely gonna make first team All NBA defense next year, starting next year. Um, just wait till he get like a competent roster. We gonna start to see Victor Wembanyama start to win more accolades to actually push the argument for him being the face of the league. I like his game. Like him like a 7-footer just doing step back threes. I could not have imagined even 5 years ago, especially when the league was changing. I was not expecting this at all. Like we already have anomalies like Dirk and KD. But dude, this is stupid crazy right now. What I'm watching at times, bro. Like I'm willing to pull up a 30-minute Victor Wembanyama reel right now to just watch it, just see how like alien like he is, bro. It's scary the potential he can reach. He just gotta stay healthy. That's the only thing about it. But yeah, like I said, I couldn't really make a strong case, but I'm giving you like the valid reasons of why he can be. Like I said, starting next year, he's going to start making All NBA teams. He's going to be first or second. I don't think he's gonna make third next year. I feel like he'll be first or second. That's how confident I am of him being in that argument. He's going to be first team all defense for surely. I believe the Spurs defense is in the 20s right now. I feel like he can jump up to like 10 to 13 range. And like I said, I feel he could be the all-time leader in 5x5 games, but before his career was over. So yeah, basically that is more like projection like. Jason Tatum and Luka, they actually had solidified cases to being the face of the league. So yeah, that's all the thing I got for today's video. I just want to support this, and I'm going to watch Martin Jam video because I feel like that's going to be an interesting video because he's the reason why I'm making this video today. So yeah, if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe. This is your boy Trill, and I'm out.